You sure you two don't want to come? Should be a sick full moon ceremony. Meredith, sick full moon?
I'm good.
We'll pass.
It was nice meeting you. I'm glad my uncle has someone else to worry about. Have a great time in Costa Rica. We will.
So next weekend, yes?
Yes. I will come and I'll give you all the deets about our trip. You know, coordinates, flights, the trees I'll be touching.
Okay. Goodbye.
So, this is something you've never seen on my channel before. A reaction video to one of the variety of part-time shows, as in, what I mean by that is, shows I normally don't watch or follow on a full-time basis, but as someone that I really, really like, or who I really, really love, or one of my favorites, any actor I know and like from any of my regular shows that I normally watch and follow 24/7 makes a one-off appearance, I will check it out just to support them. Just because that's how I am with all the celebrities and actors and writers and producers I'm friends with on social media. So therefore yesterday it was Anna Grace Barlow, who's Lisa Levine character, as you all know already, on the Goldbergs, gave me the big leap on Fox for a whole season. Well, basically it was only the first half of this 2021-2022 television season, which led me to support her on this one-off on Grey's Anatomy. So let's get into it. For the first time, I give you guys a reaction video, probably the first of many of your reaction videos where I talk about how one of my people from my regular shows, how they did. So, and I talk about their character, their story. So let's get into it. So Anna Grace Barlow played a character by the name of Charlotte Marsh, I think is Nick's. I know her uncle's one of the main characters. I think his name is Nick. Let me double check. Yes, her uncle's name is Nick, and her mother is Erica. So I don't know shit about this show. I've only been here twice to support Amina Alzouma from I Am Frankie in 2018 or 19, and now Anna Grace Barlow not tonight, even though it was originally aired yesterday. And even if I did not have that appointment, that would turn out to be a waste of time. I wouldn't have had time to watch it live because of the fact I would have been stuck up with Warped. Okay, hold on. I gotta make sure I'm doing my math correctly. I would have been stuck up on the Johnny Benson installment of Warped, as well as Side Hustle, my second episode back to Side Hustle, and then the world premiere of the Steve Park installment of Welcome to Flash on Fox. So there wouldn't have been time for me to watch Anna Grace tear it up like Terry Labonte on Grey's Anatomy live, and that would have been way too much to ask for, considering that her time on Grey's Anatomy last night cut into Welcome to Flash's premiere. So therefore, yeah, so I'm glad I made the right choice to watch it now. I mean, if there's time tomorrow night after the poker game with the cops, it's just gonna be the first poker game night episode. So tomorrow we're gonna try this again. We already tried it in January and the shit didn't work because when I got to my dad's, if you guys remember, we were doing Emily Giannozio's birthday tribute. I was in the guest bedroom playing the waiting game for him to give me the signal. And then I ended up falling asleep and missing it, so we're going to try again. Last week, I was supposed to go to breakfast before the Subway Fresh Fit 500 at Phoenix with my grandparents and watch the race, and I kind of went to bed too late, so my grandfather decided to let me sleep. So we're going to try all this again this weekend. So anyway, I haven't talked about Anna Grace's own character, or her episode. Let's get into it. So Charlotte and her Anna Grace Barlow's fictional boyfriend in this universe, Andrew Colicchio, hopefully approved of that. That's her real life boyfriend. Silver, played by Gabe Gibbs, walked in to her uncle and his ex-patient, now pimping girlfriend, or wife or whatever, getting it on like Terry Labonte. And it didn't even faze Charlotte one bit. It didn't even faze her. I could care less about how the rest of the episode turned out. I'm just here to talk about Anna Grace. So they invited her and Silver for a meal. And it was steak. The only thing they were missing was A1. And then they were talking about, Charlotte in school dropping out, and how then they got into a little Jerry Springer argument, like the Jerry Springer lady, Crutchy Doom's wife did. what day? Oh, I think it was on Wednesday. Yeah, it was 2 days ago, Wednesday, when Jerry Springer lady was living up to her nickname, but even worse. Well, Charlotte and her Uncle Nick were doing the same shit, but not as bad as Jerry Springer lady was doing with the crotch of doom. So, no. And then I get it. The Nick's worried that, his niece, that, Mashor is going to end up like her mother. But even Charlotte said it herself towards the end. I'm not her. I'm a different person. And so she was originally going to leave school after the argument. And then, talking to, was it Meredith? Yeah, talking to Meredith, trying to ask her to talk to Nick for her. Then as soon as he walked, he's like, well, he's here. Why don't you talk to him so you can do it? I mean, I understand why you want me to talk to him for you, but go for it. Be brave to talk to him. So they were talking, and, they were working it out. You would think this felt like a dramedy with all the drama that was going on, the plot outside of Anna Grace Barlow and, with Aunt Maggie and having a dream about about that. I know nothing about this show, so I can't speak on that. Having that little nightmare about an old family member that abandoned her, and all that, and the little kids running around and fighting and getting hurt. The dad playing make believe emergency room, whatever the fuck that was called. I'm not gonna remember any of this shit outside of Anna Grace Barlow. Well, you would think I would talk about that, but no, I'm just talking about Anna Grace. You would think that, with all outside of the stuff other than Anna Grace Barlow, you would think this is a dramedy or something, considering that, I mentioned in my previous reaction videos, normally in comedies, there's problems, characters have problems while still doing the stupid, funny shit for shits and giggles, and then they're, not talking to each other in the middle because they're pissed off at each other, but towards the end of the episodes, they, come back and, to each other and talk things out and work out their problems, and, the happiness always wins. So that's how the Goldbergs is. That's how American Housewife used to be. That's how Blessed as Mess used to be. I believe Man with a Plan used to be like that too. I mean, considering, A Million Little Things is nothing like it, unfortunately. Sometimes, occasionally it is, but not often anyway. Promised Land hasn't been like that at all so far. The Big Leap was 50-50 on that because it was another Anna Grace Barlow show. It was half comedy, half drama. So if there was drama, there was no talking out the problems. If there were kind of a combination of both, it was more the comedy that would win because they talk out the problems. But this is one of those rare instances where a full-on drama show actually had some comedy in it, where, as in having problems in the middle, even for one-off actors that are not going to be on the show as often in the future again. And then they talk out the problems. That's what Charlotte did with Nick at the end. He got her to change her mind, saying, I'm going to, finish school. And then towards the end, we saw them, her and Silver saying goodbye, hugging and saying their farewells. And, Meredith and Nick wishing, Charlotte well in Costa Rica, and that was the end of Anna Grace's storyline. So this really isn't that long of a video because I'm an Anna Grace Barlow fan to the day I die. Her #1 fan until my last breath. So tomorrow is going to be poker game night with the cops. That's going to be tomorrow's video. Sunday was going to be breakfast. That's going to be off camera. And then we're going to prepare for the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store 500 at Atlanta SuperSpeedway. Now I'm going to call it, that's what they turn it into. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to seeing how that configuration turns out. I just don't want NASCAR to make it exactly like Daytona and Talladega. I mean, it can be kind of like it, but not exactly like it. They have to add a double yellow line rule, that rule is already horseshit enough at Daytona and Talladega. 2020 EA Sports 500 proved of it, and so did the 2008 EA Sports 500. When I was 14 years old, still lived in Michigan in the Lenore house. The weekend, my grandfather had that hip replacement kind of stuff, when he and my grandmother still lived in Broke Park in the Sandhurst house. When we came up to visit, take care of them, take care of him. And then the next year, my grandmother had surgery. It's it's the same race weekend too. I mean, not the same race weekend, but it was the same race. EA Sports 500, it Was it EA Sports? Yeah, I think it was. I remember we were there we were visiting Mama and Papa on Sandhurst for 2 years in a row for the EA Sports 500 for like medical surgeries on each of them. One was in early October and the other was in early November. And then by November the very next year, I was living in that house myself. But yeah, so therefore we're gonna go to breakfast with them on Sunday. Try this again. Watch the Cracker Barrel 500 and see how it doesn't have to be exactly like Daytona's Talladega. I hate NASCAR's trying to make it that way, where it can kind of be like Daytona Talladega, not exactly, because the whole yellow line rule is already horseshit enough, as EA Sports 500 2 years ago and 2008 proved that so many times. So did the Aaron 499 in 2009, because Brad Keselowski saw what happened to Regan Smith the previous Talladega race at the end of 2008, knowing that if he were to try to go below the yellow line to avoid a freak accident happen, he would lose the race. So it was either two options: go below the line or send Carl flying in the catch fence, which is what Greg Biffle said Regan Smith should have done to Tony. Even though there was very little cars left, with how many wrecks there were, including two big ones, and that's the second one took out a majority of the chase contenders in the competition that Tony Stewart had. Greg Biffle, this was when Inside Winston Cup became Inside NASCAR. I can't fucking remember. After the Winston Cup sponsorship went away, they kept changing all the shit all these shows that had Winston Cup in the title. Inside Winston Cup became This Week in NASCAR. So This Week in NASCAR, that corresponding episode after the 2008 EA Sports 500. Greg Biffle said instead of Regan Smith going below the line to lose the race, the only way he could have won that race is he should have. This was Biffle's words, not mine. Because he was an analyst on Benson Schrader and Michael Waltrip used to be when I was a kid, and it was Inside Winston Cup with Alan Bestwick before Steve Burton later took that hosting role. Turned Stewart in front around and all those cars, and either tumbling in the grass or into the fence. Well, it turned out to come true with Brad and Carl. But it was the same thing in the 2011 Bud Shootout. The imposter and Brett Bodine's number lost that race because he went below the line. But at the same time, if he avoids the penalty, then he sends Newman into a freak accident. Even though that kind of came true in the Daytona 500 and nine years later, except it wasn't a yellow line thing. It was just racing for the win. It had nothing to do with the yellow line. But that yellow line rule has, robbed so many people of their first win or wins in general, and has caused so many serious accidents. So that's why NASCAR fans, need that. NASCAR fans say that shit needs to fucking go. So, and it really does. But anyway, we'll save this discussion for Sunday if something bogus like that happens. I hope doesn't. So, Anna Grace Barlow, well done on Grey's Anatomy as Charlotte Marsh. You are the GOAT. I look forward to seeing you in your next show, whatever that may be, whether it's a one-off where you make one appearance but never appear on it again, or you get another full-time role like you did on The Big Leap. And with The Big Leap, all finished for good, I hope we get to see Lisa Lavine come back on the Goldbergs sometime as we finish season 9, and hopefully if there's season 10 she comes back. So I look forward to seeing more Lisa Lavine, I hope. So that'll do it for this Anna Grace Barlow, Grey's Anatomy, Charlotte Marsh reaction video. Tomorrow night is Poker Game Night with the Cops. It's going to be episode 1 of Poker Game Night. And keep in mind, we're going to film a spiffy intro with the Game Show Network bumper as the opening bumper cutscene. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Life will give you a lot of lows, but when you hit a high, enjoy it. It ain't for the weak. Goddamn, be you. You have to try harder to do less. So take care, everyone. Good night. See you tomorrow for Poker Game Night. Sunday for Cracker Barrel Old Country Store 500 race review. Monday we'll be doing a Welcome to Flatch reaction video. Tuesday, the episode 1 of Welcome to Flatch, the Steve Park installment, series premiere. And then Tuesday we'll be doing the Bill Elliott installment, the reaction video to Promised Land. And then we'll catch up on all this Warped and Danger Force and Side Hustle stuff we missed over time, sometime throughout the week. And we won't do a reaction video to those, unfortunately, but I will do postings of episode stills. But now I gotta get out of here. See you later, everyone.